Fire, my parents replaced my 18th birthday with my sister's Meltdown. 5 years later, their world collapsed piece by piece, and I finally got the freedom they denied me. I used to think family meant unconditional love, but standing in my kitchen, watching my parents cancel my 18th birthday party so my sister could emotionally recover from a canceled vacation, I realized that in our house, love had always been conditional, and I was never the favored one. I'm 23 now, but this story began 5 years ago, when I was still that naive, hopeful kid who believed effort and kindness could earn you equality in a family built on favoritism. My sister, Seraphine, was already 27 by then, but she'd never grown out of her princess phase. Since birth, she's been the family's golden child, the one who could do no wrong, even when she set the house on fire with her tantrums. My dad, Roland, builds custom homes in Phoenix. My mom, Maris, is a luxury real estate agent. Together, they make over $250,000 a year, enough for a mansion in a gated community, 2 cars, and a perfect suburban image. From the outside, we looked like the picture of success. Inside, it was something else entirely. Seraphine figured out early on that tears were currency. If she cried, screamed, or threatened to hurt herself, she'd get whatever she wanted. I learned the opposite, to stay quiet, to adapt, to fix things, because being calm was mature, and mature meant invisible. On her 18th birthday, Seraphine got a brand new BMW with custom rims. On mine, I got my dad's old work truck, rusted, loud, and holding on by faith alone. She received $4,500 a month while figuring out college. I worked at a gym 28 hours a week just to afford gas and books. When she wanted a $10,000 room makeover, my parents didn't blink. When I asked for help buying AP textbooks, they told me to learn responsibility. That was the pattern, her indulgence, my endurance. When Seraphine crashed her BMW while texting, Dad said, "Accidents happen." When I got a speeding ticket, I was grounded for a month. She failed organic chemistry twice and got a private tutor. I struggled with calculus and got told, "You're smart enough to figure it out." But even while she burned bridges, I kept things running. I paid the bills Mom forgot about, picked up Dad's dry cleaning when his back hurt, volunteered, tutored, kept a 4.3 GPA, and tried to be the glue holding everything together. But instead of appreciation, I became background noise, the dependable son who didn't need attention. Whenever Seraphine failed, the family rallied. Whenever I succeeded, they acted like it was expected. When she finally managed to graduate community college, 2 years late, she was showered with praise for her perseverance. I was the one who had driven her to classes, helped her study, and bailoed her out of jail after a frat party arrest. Still, my parents beamed at her as if she had discovered fire. So when I was about to turn 18, I told myself this time would be different. It was supposed to be my milestone, adulthood, scholarships, early admission to Arizona State, a future I'd earned. I'd worked so hard for a moment of my own, and my parents even seemed excited. Mom told her friends, "Our boy's becoming a man." Dad wanted to rent one of those inflatable obstacle courses for the backyard. We planned a small barbecue, 30 people tops, family, friends, my girlfriend Alara, my coach, even my boss from the gym. I used my own savings to help pay for it. We sent invitations, ordered food, booked a cake from a downtown bakery. For once, it felt like I wasn't invisible. Then, 3 days before the party, Seraphine's Cancun trip got canceled. She'd spent months planning it, tanning, buying bikinis, bragging on Instagram. But some drama with her college friends blew up, and suddenly she was home, furious, sobbing, screaming, and throwing things like a toddler denied dessert. Mom instantly called off her work meetings. Dad skipped golf and poker. They ordered her favorite Thai food, filled a bubble bath with imported bath bombs, and treated her like a grieving widow, not a spoiled adult whose vacation plans fell apart. By Saturday morning, the day before my party, I was outside stringing lights and setting tables when Seraphine walked downstairs in silk pajamas, eyes red from crying. "I can't handle having a party here tomorrow," she said calmly, like she was announcing a diagnosis. "It'll trigger my anxiety, the noise, the people, it'll set back my recovery." I froze. "It's my birthday," I said. "People are already planning to come?" She teared up. "I know, but this is really traumatic for me. I just need peace. Please don't be selfish." And right on cue, Mom started nodding. She's right. She's been through so much. Cancun really shook her confidence. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Mom, this is my 18th birthday. I invited my teacher, my boss." If you cared about me, Seraphine interrupted, voice trembling perfectly, you'd postpone it. Family supports family. Dad appeared from the kitchen and joined in. Your sister needs us right now. You're strong, you can handle a little disappointment. I wanted to scream, what about me? But instead, I stood there as they canceled everything. I spent the rest of the day making humiliating phone calls, apologizing to my coach, my friends, my girlfriend, my teacher. I told them I got sick. It was easier than admitting my sister's canceled vacation was more important than my coming of age. The next day, my actual birthday, no one said a word. No happy birthday, no card, no breakfast. Mom was busy making Seraphine a smoothie. Dad left early for work. I sat at the kitchen table, numb, invisible. Then Seraphine looked up from her phone and said, "You don't have to ruin everyone's mood, you know. It's not my fault your party was canceled." Something inside me snapped. For the first time, I stopped hoping they'd see me. I stopped trying to earn what should have been unconditional love. That afternoon, I made a call to my wrestling coach. He and his wife had always treated me like one of their own, and I knew their oldest had just gone off to college. "You can stay here as long as you need," his wife said instantly. "You're already family." That was the day I stopped being their dependable son and started becoming my own person. I packed quietly the next morning. I didn't yell or argue. I left a note thanking my parents for raising me, but I didn't say goodbye. By the time they realized I was gone, I was already unpacking my bags in a house that actually felt like home. In the 5 years since, I've watched from a distance as their perfect image unraveled. Seraphine's luxury spending tanked their finances. Dad's business went under during a housing slump. Mom's clients drifted away after word spread that she'd lost her personal touch. And me? I graduated, got a stable job, built real friendships, the kind not based on obligation. Sometimes I see Seraphine's old Instagram posts and remember how much I wanted her approval, my parents' pride, their love. But now I know some families don't deserve the person you become despite them. They erased my birthday once, so I erased myself from their lives and I've never felt freer. While I was working out at the gym, I decided to call my supervisor. He'd been hinting for a while that he needed more reliable people, so I figured it was worth a try. As soon as I mentioned I was looking for more hours, he told me one of his other stores across town was short-staffed, and he could bump me up to 30 hours a week right away if I wanted. "You're one of the most dependable employees I've ever hired," he told me. "If you're looking to be more independent, I'll make sure you've got the opportunity to do it." After that, I called my school counselor at home. When I told her what had happened, she was horrified. She promised to help me figure out how to finish my senior year on my own terms. "What your parents did is not okay," she said firmly. "An 18th birthday is a major life event. The fact that they canceled it for the reasons you described, that says a lot about their priorities." By Sunday night, I had my plan. I'd mapped out exactly how to become independent, how to keep going to school, work my shifts at the gym, and manage everything else while preparing to move out quietly. On the surface, nothing seemed different that week. My parents thought I was handling my disappointment well, even praising me for being so mature about everything. They had no clue I was packing up my life behind the scenes. Every day, I'd sneak a few more of my things over to my coach's house. My important documents, electronics, good clothes, medals, books, everything that truly mattered to me. At home, I started to withdraw from all the little things I used to do for them. I stopped reminding Dad about bill deadlines. I didn't update Mom's calendar or organize her client notes. If there was a mess in the kitchen, I left it there. Grocery lists, meal prep, errands, I ignored them all. 1 week later, on the exact Saturday my canceled birthday was supposed to happen, I decided it was time. I waited until Seraphine's parents were out and she was off wasting money at the mall. Then, I emptied my room completely. I packed up everything I owned, left my house key on the bed, and placed a handwritten note beside it. It said, "Since my feelings and milestones don't seem to matter in this family, I'm going somewhere they will. Please don't contact me unless you're ready to offer a real apology and make meaningful changes. I'll finish school and start my adult life surrounded by people who value me. This isn't rebellion or a phase. This is me choosing to live like I matter." Then I loaded everything into my old truck and drove away from the place I'd called home for 18 years. I knew, without a doubt, I'd never return. The instant I pulled out of the driveway, I felt something I hadn't in years: freedom. Real, unfiltered relief. For the first time in my life, I was making a decision entirely for myself. Staying with my coach's family felt like stepping into another world, one where people actually cared, respected each other, and treated me like I belonged. They didn't treat me like a burden or a helper. They welcomed me in, asked about my day, and made me feel part of their home. Living there opened my eyes to how families should function, and it was oddly satisfying to watch from afar as my old family started to unravel without me. It didn't take long. Within days, the cracks began to show. I'd always been the one keeping things together, paying bills, managing schedules, cleaning, making sure everyone stayed on track. Once I was gone, chaos settled in fast. They forgot to pay their mortgage for 3 weeks, got hit with late fees on credit cards, and Mom lost an important client after missing a major deadline. And then came Seraphine. Without me there to mediate, her problems exploded. She failed 2 classes that semester and got put on academic probation. She'd relied on me so much for tutoring, organization, and motivation that she didn't know how to function on her own. When she stopped understanding her lessons, she simply stopped showing up. My father ended up paying $75 an hour for private tutors just to keep her afloat. Then, she was caught shoplifting. Not once, but enough times to get arrested. A $300 designer purse was the final straw. Dad spent thousands covering legal fees and restitution. The worst part, she admitted she did it for fun. The financial mess didn't stop there. Once I left, they discovered Seraphine had been stealing from them for years, money from Mom's purse, purchases on Dad's credit cards, even forged checks. Altogether, she had drained over $35,000, money that could have helped pay for my college or secured their future. Instead of holding her accountable, my parents doubled down on protecting her. Dad took out a second mortgage to cover her legal costs. Mom started working 7 days a week just to keep up. Through neighbors and social media, I saw everything play out. My once picture-perfect family looked exhausted in every photo. The facade was cracking wide open. They started calling, first once a week, then daily. The messages were desperate, begging me to come home, to be the mature one, to help the family get back on track. But not one voicemail ever included an apology. They never once said, "We're sorry for what we did to you." Instead, it was all guilt trips. "Your sister needs you. Your mom's falling apart. We can't handle this without you." I ignored every call. Meanwhile, my life was thriving. I worked 30 hours a week, kept my grades up, and continued wrestling. I made real friends, people who liked me for who I was, not for what I could do for them. By graduation, I had a 4.2 GPA and a full athletic scholarship to Arizona State University. Meanwhile, my family's situation got even worse. Seraphine was expelled for academic dishonesty after being caught plagiarizing, paying others to take her exams, and even trying to bribe a professor. My dad, desperate to fix things, paid $15,000 for an online degree that turned out to be a total scam. Mom's real estate career crumbled. Without me organizing her schedule, she forgot meetings, missed deadlines, and lost multiple high-value clients. Her reputation tanked in the competitive Phoenix market. Dad's construction business wasn't doing any better. He made massive bidding errors, overextended loans, and drained the company to bail Seraphine out of her latest disasters. Their perfect family image was dead. In our tight-knit community, people started talking. Neighbors who once admired them now whispered behind their backs. Parents avoided them at events. Even Dad's business contacts started pulling away. No one wanted to work with someone whose daughter was on the police blotter and whose son had publicly cut ties. Their social standing collapsed. Their finances followed. Meanwhile, I was living my best life, training hard, excelling at university, maintaining my scholarship, and being part of a family that actually respected me. About a year and a half after I left, Seraphine's downfall hit its peak. She fell into a crypto scam, convinced by some guy she met online that it was an easy fortune. She used my parents' banking info to steal $45,000 from their retirement savings, everything they had left. The scam vanished overnight, taking all their money with it. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. She'd secretly opened credit cards, personal loans, even a car loan in their names, racking up over $80,000 in debt before they realized what she'd done. By the time the dust settled, they were over $125,000 in debt and completely ruined. They lost their home, declared bankruptcy, and had to move into a tiny apartment in a rough part of town. Dad's business went under, Mom took a low-paying job at a corporate firm, and Seraphine, the golden child, couldn't handle any of it. She fell apart completely. She couldn't hold a job, couldn't manage her life, and reverted to acting like a helpless child. My parents, now in their 50s and broke, had to take care of her full-time. The stress destroyed their marriage. Within 6 months, they separated after 26 years together. Dad moved in with his brother and started working low-wage construction gigs. Mom juggled 2 jobs just to afford rent and groceries. Their old friends pitied them, and their neighbors treated them like a cautionary tale. Then a few weeks ago, my phone rang. The caller ID showed a number I didn't recognize. I almost ignored it until I heard my father's voice. "Son, please don't hang up," he said quietly. His voice sounded tired, hollow. "I know you have every reason to hate us, but we need to talk." I stayed silent, ready to end the call, but something in his tone stopped me. "We've lost everything," he said. "The house, the business, our savings, even our marriage. We're both barely getting by now, and your sister, she can't take care of herself. She's completely dependent on us." He paused, his voice trembling. "We know why you left. We've had 3 years to think about it, and we know we were wrong. Canceling your 18th birthday for her for that nonsense, it was cruel. We didn't see it then, but we do now, and we've been paying the price ever since." He took a deep breath, and in that moment I could hear every ounce of regret in his voice. "You were the one holding this family together," he said softly. "We just didn't realize it until you were gone." If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to leave a comment, hit subscribe, follow for more, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss the next one.